Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another week of RPM Esports and F1 action for you this evening from Bahrain. And we've got a comment already. Shaq straight in there with the support for Sinful, who has he left the pits? No, he's still in his pit box and yet to start his outlap. Let's get some information on the screen for us. So you can all see what's happening, and as you can see, we've already got a couple of drivers completed their outlaps and on to timed laps. So Craigo, one of the first out there, and already down into the DRS zone, the second DRS zone on the circuit, down into turn 4, leaving a bit of margin for error at this stage. First second time coming up, and it's a 29.0. We've got some support for Williams as well, and a question of how do you join this league. I believe it's probably linked, the Discord linked in the About section of the YouTube channel. Failing that, you can Google RPM Esports F1. There should be a link to the Discord on that website, and yeah, that's probably the best bet. Failing that, RPM Esports on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you usually find that sort of thing. And yeah, the easiest way is basically get in the Discord and someone will help you out. Either way, we're back with qualifying and 14.5 minutes remaining. Craigo now well into his lap. Final corner coming up, and yeah, can he get the power down smoothly? Going out onto the curb, DRS will open again, and he is going to be the first man to set a time. And it's a 1:30.8. Who have we got coming up behind? I think that could be Huss, is it? No, it's Spritzy, and straight to the top of the pile, 29.8, so knocks a second off Craigo's time straight away. Danos slots in between them a 1:30.595. Who is going to be the next across the line? It's Philip Hogston in the Alpine, 1:31.3. We do see from Philip Hogston his first lap tends to be quite conservative, and he picks up the pace throughout qualifying. Snellhenk has gone into P2, just in the 1:30s. Bumblebee likewise. We've seen some pretty decent pace from Bumblebee in the first couple of races, so at the moment you'd expect more to come from him. Uglar obviously has not set a representative time with that 1:44.5, and Goa as well, the other McLaren, is the one we've not mentioned, 31.8. First time for him. Huss, though, comes across the line. It's an Aston Martin 1-2, as we've seen a couple of times this season at various points, and yeah, 1:29.699 for Huss. Richie's gone in there on exactly the same time as One Wing, actually, so they've both slotted in to 4th and 5th on a 1:30.084. That's pretty impressive. Who else is, as all the times start to come in now? Phil's gone to the top just, and then Cron. So Phil on a 29.6 and then Cron on a 29.5, knocking him straight off the top. So before you know it, Aston are down to 3 and 4, locking out the second row. Quite a bit of support in the chat for Ferrari. So where are they at the moment? 6th with Richie and 11th with Craigo after the first runs. We've got 4 drivers yet to set a time. I'm just going to actually get the telemetry set up so we can see what's going on. As we, in theory, things should be a little quieter as the guys out there get back to the pits and reset for the next runs. Yeah, apologies, trying to do two things at once. What have we got? We've got good luck to B, and his favourite Merc driver, Sinful. That's from Colin, our Premier driver, of course, who isn't leading the championship at the moment, as many expected him to do. I believe he missed a race last week, but I think he intends to be back this Thursday and start picking some points up. Bumblebee with thanks for the support. What have we got going on track then? Most of the cars have returned to the pits. We've got a couple back out on outlaps again. Spritzy is one of them. Danos is also back out there. Craigo as well. He was one of the earliest out last time, of course. And what else have we got going on? Try and keep abreast of all the various means of communication. See what if anything's coming from the drivers mid-session. At the moment, all pretty quiet on the Discord. So yeah, we've just got a few people in the chat. So yeah, keep them coming. Any predictions, of course, as always, for qualifying or the race. 10 minutes remaining then in qualifying. Spritzy just getting some temperature into the tyres. It's of course a night race, so yeah, perhaps a little more tricky than usual. But we are still in the desert, of course. Ooh, we got on a lap. Haas coming through 15th, and there was a... who else was there? Someone else. Cosmo has just started a lap, actually. Colin saying he's washed well. Yeah. What was the standings at the minute for Premier? Let's get that up. If I can remember where they are. Oh, yeah, the tab that says Season 4 standings. That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? So yeah, Premier standings at the moment. 5th place, Colin, 36 points. 6th place, me, on 30 points. So yeah, Colin under threat from the slowest person in Premier. I'm proud to announce. What have we got going on a serious note? Phil coming across the line to start a lap. We've got, is that Danos on a lap? It is, but that's not who I thought it was. Either way, we'll stick with him because he is, as we say, on a timed lap, just inside the top 10 at the moment, in the mid 130s. Got quite some time to make up. Who wants to improve on that? Just drops to 10th as well as someone else improves, and yeah, doesn't improve on his time, unfortunately. I believe it may have been Cosmo that's gone up into P5, and he's down at turn 1, so that would make sense. One of the Astons has gone across the line, that's Huss, but Spritzy's halfway around the lap and a couple of tenths up. Second sector time coming up shortly as one of the Haas cars returns to the pits. What is it going to be for Spritzy? Slow. So either he's not been on a lap or he's made a mistake somewhere. Who else can we pick up? Kron, did he just improve on that lap, or has he just started a lap? Something changed on the timing screen, so yeah, not sure on that one. Phil's improving though by a third of a second, so this could put him back up to provisional pole. Through the final corner, all looking pretty neat and tidy. DRS open, we've got some yellow flags around the back of the circuit. Phil goes to provisional pole at 29.2, so yeah, very good lap from the AlphaTauri driver, who has shown some good performances in qualifying this season. I think yet to really sort of transfer it into any major points, unfortunately. We will just get the standings up for Senior, now we've stopped messing about with Premier. Yeah, currently sits 7th, Phil on 26 points. Spritzy top of the pile on 70, been very consistent. Kron's retired, and that is on track, and that is down at turn 7, I believe. So yeah, you can see there some debris. So I'm not sure what's happening. I imagine he's lost it through the S's of 5 and 6. Huss has gone up to 2nd on a 29.4, but can't get near Phil's lap time a couple of tenths quicker than him. As one of the Astons going a little bit wide by the looks of things. I think just getting out of the way. Dragos then up to the second row, 29.7. And again, look, what is it with one wing and setting the same time? He had the same time as Richie earlier, the same time as Dragos now. He actually set, seems like he set that time before Dragos as well, so yeah, wouldn't bet on Codemasters to get that rule right, but Dragos takes P4 as it stands. Who have we got coming across the line? Who have we got on a lap? Richie, no. Danos, no. Bumblebee on an out lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. Spivey looks like, no, he's out of energy, so I don't think he'll be improving. Philip Hogston is getting out of the way. Hopefully got out of the way in time there. Yeah, a little bit quiet on the hot lap front at the moment. Sinful, looks like he's going for it. Through turn 8, and now into the downhill 9 and 10. Always a tricky left-hand complex there. As we've lost both Haas now, retired. Sinful then down the back straight, using all of the track on the entry. And second sector time coming up. Again, using every inch available to him. Always difficult to get slowed down for this right-hander. But it's looking okay at the moment. Bit of traffic ahead shouldn't be a problem. Higgsy up the Astons. And evening backer. Good to have you. Sinful then won't get a toe to the line because that's an Alpine heading for the pits, but Sinful 29.7 puts him on the second row, so Cron hanging on to P3 despite having been an early retirement. Who have we got? Is that Cosmo on an outlap? Yes. Craig on an outlap. We've got we've got Gar out there, haven't we? On an outlap. Who have we got on a lap? Oh, we had Bumblebee, didn't we? Promised to keep an eye on him, and we didn't. He's halfway around the lap, pretty much. A little bit of traffic, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just two cars on outlaps by the looks of it. And not sure how this lap's going so far, but he's still going for it, so I can only imagine that it's been a decent start to the lap. We'll soon find out what his middle sector's been like. Running it right out onto the curb, and yeah, 3/10 up, so looking good for Bumblebee to improve by at least one place. He'll maybe need a little bit more time. Look how many places you can gain though. If you get into the 29s, you'd be up a couple of rows for certain. So tight in that sort of 4th to 10th area, and he's pitting. So obviously not satisfied that he was improving enough and getting in to get a new set of tyres on, hopefully just before the end of the session. 2 minutes and 30 remaining coming into the pits. That's going to be very tight for Bumblebee. Who have we got coming across the line? Is that Spritzy starting a lap? Go on then, we'll have an onboard lap with RPM Spritzy. Heading down into turn 1. Looking just after the start of the curb for the braking. Down to second gear, turning in, staying off the inside curb. Trying to get the power down through turn 2. DRS open on the exit of 3. And then you're going to use all of the track on the entry to turn 4. Probably run there in 4th gear, yep. Again, difficulty getting on the throttle. Now the S's of 5 and 6. Again, the curbs can bite you. I think that's probably what happened to Cron earlier on. So easy to lose the rear down into 8. And one of the, is it a Williams ahead or an Alpine? It could be an Alpine, isn't it? Yeah. And hopefully stays out of the way. It will have been a little bit of a distraction though, as he breaks down into 9 and 10. Always easy to lock a front wheel down there. Down the back straight. Up over the curb into 11. Middle sector time coming up. As he drops down the order with others setting times. Hopefully, yeah, he's improving. That's going to be a big improvement, isn't it? That could put him on the front row. So Huss may have a challenge for his teammate here. Pixie's comment about the Astons may have just given them a bit of a boost. A very distant tow for Spritzy coming across the line. Kept it neat and tidy through the final corner. Goes provisional pole. So yeah, great final sector. 29.204. So that's what he's got. What's everyone else got out there? Huss not improving in sector 1. Cosmo, don't think he's on a lap. Sinful's invalidated whatever he's on. Dragos is improving by 3/10, so if he keeps that up, he could be right up there come the end of the lap. We'll try and keep an eye on everyone who's coming across. I don't think... what have we got? 30 seconds and Bumblebee's into the third sector. That's going to be so tight. We got Huss on a lap behind him, haven't we? 10 seconds. I think Bumblebee just is going to make it. So 7, 6, 5. Yeah, goes across the line with 5 seconds remaining. Huss pits, so he's not going to improve. One Wing doesn't look like he's improving. Phil's very cautious through 9 and 10, so not sure if he's still on a lap. What have we got? What about the Ferraris? Craigo goes across the line, no improvement. Richie is in sector 1. Is he on a lap? Looks to be. What's his first sector time like? Quarter of a second improvement. Someone's just gone across the line. Dragos and gone P7. What have we got? Sinful invalidated by the looks of things. The two McLarens, both going into the pits by the looks of things. So what have we got remaining? Uglar improving. Can he beat his teammate? Yep. Just slots into 16th place. Is that Phil across the line and takes it right at the death? So yeah, new pole sitter in Phil then. Knocks Spritzy down to P2, but still a very very respectable qualifying for Aston Martin. 2 and 4 at the moment. One Wing eventually set a time that was different to someone else and slots in P3. I think we may have seen everyone. Have we? Richie's still out there, but doesn't... No, he's not on a quick lap, is he? So I think that's probably it. Bumblebee. Missed that one. Where's this going to put him? Probably 8th or 9th, I'd guess. Unless he's had a brilliant final sector. Coming across the line. Does indeed slot into 9th. Craigo is not on a lap. Richie's pitting. That is the end of qualifying. Cron, I think, got hit whilst... so I think Cron had a spin and was on the racing line and may have got hit by someone. So, yeah, that's very unfortunate, but he still lines up P6. So who are we waiting for? Richie to go back to the pits. Oh no, he's in the pits, just waiting for him to be reset to the garage. There we go. And before we know it, we'll be on the grid. Confirmation of quality order then. Phil on pole, Spritzy, One Wing and Huss. And Cosmo make it an RPM 2, 3, 4, 5. Cron P6, Dragos and Sinful make up the 4th row. Bumblebee, Craigo, Snellhank, Richie, Danos, Goa, Spivey, Uglar, Philip Hogston, GR and Sprink complete the order. No qualifying from Sprink then, so not sure what to expect from him in the race. But that's one to keep an eye on. Anyone in the chat, given that grid, feel free to get your race predictions in. Excuse me. Onto the grid then, and drivers selecting their tyre and fuel strategies. Shouldn't be too long before we have some action with the formation lap then. Just over 10 seconds for the drivers to get the last settings in, and we'll be underway. Phil leads us away on the formation lap then. And just make sure we've got everything set back up. We'll start with position change, of course, as always. Let's actually have a look at the results so far. Results summary. There we go. Fantastic job done by the boys on the sheets, of course. So round one was Bumblebee on pole, and it was won by Huss. Round two in Abu Dhabi, Huss on pole, and it was won by Spritzy. So we're yet to have a non-Aston Martin winner this season. Let's hope turn one is cleaner than yesterday. I have seen the video that's in reference to. It was pretty impressive. I think who was it? Tony Liuzzi into Nico Rosberg, Monza 2011. Sort of backwards into the side of everyone. Yeah, that's it was, impressive. That's all we'll say. Gaps on the formation lap need to be a little closer than that. That's certainly one to keep an eye on. So yeah, if we can close it up, that'd be great. Don't want to be hanging about too long, as Phil's already onto the penultimate straight, heading down to the final corner. And before too long, we'll be ready to get underway with round 3 here in Bahrain. Round 4 next week, just for your information, I believe will be a sprint race in Japan. So that's definitely one to make sure you don't miss. Mixing things up a little bit with the new F1 race formats, of course. But Phil is back onto the grid, and he has his teammate for the evening waiting there for him. He's been disqualified to sprint from the formation lap, so he's really keeping his cards close to his chest, isn't he? No qualifying time, and not even bothered with a formation lap. As I think Phil's just been disqualified for failing to pull into his grid spot correctly. I mean, all it is, brake and stop on a line, but it's difficult for some. Last car's lining up now then. We'll be ready to get underway. And yeah, hopefully, as we've mentioned, and just a couple at the back struggling to pull into their grids. But I think we're all there. Back at the front with Phil, hopefully. We're not going to get a forward-facing view, but we've got 5 lights, and we are underway. Who gets a clean start? The Astons look pretty good. There's a Haas there, absolutely flying of Cron. I think Phil's maybe not had the best of starts. I think he does run with absolutely no traction control, so that's maybe hindering him a little bit. But Cron, I think, leads in, and we've got an Alpine well wide already. But Spritzy actually leads out of turn 1. Cron, Phil, Cosmo, Huss, one wing. Who is... And we've got all sorts of chaos going on at the back. Sprink, Richie involved again. No. So unlucky on the opening laps this season. Philip Hogston, I think, was the Alpine that went wide. We've got Goa as well. Craigo looks like he's been off as well. I'm not sure if there's any damage. But other than that, let's get back to the front, because we've got Spritzy up a place from second on the grid. Now leads. Cron up an incredible 4 places. Spivey in the Red Bull up 6th to 9th place. He's obviously avoided most of the drama. Some early support in this race for Spritzy once again, as it was in qualifying, and he's away at the front as it stands. But let's just get the tyre situation on. He has gone with the soft tyre, as has Cron, so maybe that was a factor in Phil not getting the best of starts either. He's gone for the medium tyre, as have the majority of the field. One wing, Bumblebee, and that's both the Williams then on hard tyres. Craigo and Sprink as well on hards. We'll see if anyone has to pit at the end of lap 1 for any damage. Not entirely sure. Sinful maybe looks like he's got a little bit of damage on his front wing, and Gara as well, so we'll see if they come in. Spritzy, though, has broken just about the 1 second barrier onto lap 2. He's got another lap to make sure he's out of it to Kron behind, and making the most of those soft tyres while he can. Phil, though, looking pretty solid in P3 at the moment with Cosmo and Huss behind. One wing on those hard tyres is definitely one to watch. He'll be having to go a long way into this race before pitting. Lap 2 of 29 it is. So I don't think anyone did pit, did they? I think Sprink, I don't think pitted. So we've got Philip Hodgson round again, unfortunately. And he's going to drop, I think, to the back of the field, maybe. Who else have we got making moves? Wait a minute, one wing's round. So we're just mentioning he wants to go a long way on those hards, and it looks like he's had an incident down at turn 8. Not sure who else was involved. Backer, no DNF on lap 1 pleases me a lot. Yeah, we've done pretty well getting around with all 19. A couple of minor incidents, but other than that, it's been pretty decent so far. 2 laps about to be completed, and no major disasters. So 3 cars running on the softs, 2 of them are right at the front, and just about. So Kron is within DRS range, so he'll get it out of turn 3 as he sets the fastest lap. Phil is 2 seconds down, but clear of Cosmo. Huss, though, maybe about to line up a move on his RPM stablemate. Down into turn 4, perhaps. Have we got any moves going on turn 1? I don't think we have. Maybe Danos on Uglar could be one to be lined up. But Huss, yeah, nowhere near, actually. Cosmo in the end. Kron definitely closing in, though. So 3 laps on the board, and the Haas is really starting to put a little bit of pressure on Spritzy up at the front. So it's 9 and 10. Try and keep it as straight as possible through 9 to get the brakes on, as Philip Hodgson's had another incident. So I think some of these guys maybe have burnt through the tyres with a spin, and it's a vicious circle. Just yeah, more spins means more tyre temperature means more spins, unfortunately. But up the front, only half a second separates your top 2. And yeah, definitely going to be within the DRS range once again for the main straight. And this time he'll have it down that start-finish straight for the first time as we complete lap 3. Phil saying around 2.5 seconds now, so maybe the mediums are just starting to come good, and the softs maybe just the ultimate performance going away from them. Kron, though, I think is going to breeze past Spritzy here down into turn 1. If he even needs to wait for turn 1, pulls alongside and should get the move done pretty comfortably. Has time to pull back ahead as well. No issues there. And yeah, takes over the lead of the race then on lap 4. As Huss then, that's going to be a little bit tight, but Huss does just take P4 from Cosmo, and hanging on as long as he could. Might have just hurt him against his teammate. Dragos now should, well, he had the DRS but didn't manage to complete the move. What have we got going on a little bit further back? Bumblebee is right on the back of Spivey. We've got Craigo and Goa swapping places, so McLaren and the 2 Ferraris having some racing for 14th, 15th and 16th as it stands, just on the back of the main pack really, and then the back 3 have all had recent incidents, I guess. Spritzy, though, now gets DRS himself, of course, so he's sticking with Kron. And Goa has lost it on the traction. Hopefully can spin that around and stay out of everyone's way. He can, and he'll get underway again, but drops to the back of the field. Yeah, Phil, I don't know as a result of these 2 overtaking each other, or it's just those mediums starting to come good, but Phil is closing in. Spivey and Bumblebee swapping places as Dragos and Cosmo, also the 2 Alphas. Things are getting a little bit spicy there, aren't they? As Sprink is struggling once again at the back of the field and the other side of the circuit. Both of these guys got DRS. What's going on? We've got Cosmo and Dragos once again swapping places. Spritzy right on the back of Crom, but don't think he's going to be close enough. You've got to be very close to make a move down into turn 4. Oh, just about getting on the brakes soon enough to not spear into the back of the Haas. But Phil now, you get the feeling maybe just sitting patiently on those mediums. Quite happy to sit a couple of seconds behind the leaders and just keep things neat and tidy. Keep it smooth. The two alphas giving it absolutely everything in their fight for 5th and 6th. And what else can we see going on? We've got Uglar, Sinful and GR is the 3-way fight for 11th, 12th and 13th. And just behind that we've got the 2 Ferraris. What else have we got going on the telemetry? It's all been very quiet, to be fair. Not much damage. We've only got those 2 little bits of minor front wing damage from that one. Other than that, it's all looking pretty decent. Who's just set? I think someone's just set a personal best middle sector. I think it might have been Phil. Oh, we've lost. As I was looking at the telemetry, we've lost Cosmo down at turn 12, I believe. And he slots back in P11, so that's unfortunate. That's one of the downsides of solo commentary. Just take a second to look at the telemetry and something happens. Kron still leads Spritzy into lap 6 on these soft tyres. I have absolutely no idea how long they will last. But 29 lap race, so we're getting a fair way into what the softs would usually take. And they're still giving it plenty. And Phil now is within the 2-second window. So looking pretty good for the AlphaTauri man at the moment. And yeah, 6th and 7th in the standings after 2 races. So Cosmo and Dragos just ahead of him, and then the 2 Williams of Rob Williams, which is 1 wing, and Bumblebee. So Phil, if you can pick up some points this evening, would potentially go ahead of a couple of them. But Spritzy and Huss still very much the early points leaders. And what have we got going on? Any on-track action? We've got Philip Hogston and 1 wing. Those on the hard tyres have all sort of had issues really then, haven't they? 1 wing was the early leader on hards. Oh, well, one of the top cars on hards, not the leader of course. That's been taken over by his teammate Bumblebee, who's now P8. But it does look like the medium to hard strategy is probably sort of, at this stage anyway, with no safety cars, it's probably the favoured option as it stands. Spritzy still sitting within that DRS range. Maybe able to save a little bit of battery. Phil's got plenty left. And Huss, yeah, doing a decent job of it as well. Dragos has been left sort of on his own now since Cosmo had that incident. Speaking of Cosmo, he's about to line up Sinful as he starts his recovery, but not feeling very brave on the brakes, pulls back in and stays behind for now. Wonder if he could be setting up a move into turn 4. He's not using overtake though. So yeah, stays sitting behind Sinful for now, maybe looking to sit in the DRS and charge his battery a little bit. Spivey's doing a good job in the Red Bull. Where's he sitting in the standings at the moment? 16th. He's only managed to pick up 4 points so far. I think he was a non-finisher in Australia, wasn't it? Yes, and then 12th last time out. So his qualifying's been 11th and 15th. So looking sort of a mid-pack racer, but solid enough job so far this evening in the top 7. Cosmo has got Sinful now. Can he keep it into turn 11? Just about. Should be job done from there. We've got some yellows. That's Bumblebee. And hopefully can get going there on the racing line. Yep. No issues. But yeah, unfortunately that's another Williams dropping down the order. Have we got any sort of inkling of these guys up the top considering pitting? No, not yet. They go up into... Oh! Spritzy there. Was that a little bit of contact? Or did he just absolutely slam on the brakes at the last second? No, there was contact. Don't think there's any damage done though. But wow, he's a lucky boy, isn't he? He's lost about a second as a result of that. As what's happened there, One Wing and Philip Hodgson have swapped places. These two have been battling for quite a while after their early incidents. So that does put Phil now just about in range of DRS, although you would expect he'll, unless anything sort of major opportunity comes up, he's probably going to sit there and wait for the two guys ahead of him to pit. Doesn't want to be taking any risks at this stage. Danos is on the back of his teammate now within a second as well. Oglar and Sinful, that could be the next fight coming, as Richie now as well looks to move forward. Two Ferraris, hopefully they can make progress in the second half of the race. Oglar running a little bit wide into turn 10. What have we got going on? Up the front, 6/10 now, Phil behind Spritzy. So yeah, the softs have definitely had their best. It's now a case of how long do these guys choose to go on them. What tyre do they put on? Do they try and stretch it out to put the hards on? Is that the Haas of GR? I think it is, down at turn 11. Is that an incident? Seemingly by himself, but should be getting back up. Spritzy's in. So Spritzy is in the pits and he's putting the hards on, so he's going to try and make it on a one-stopper with that. As Cosmo and Bumblebee setting personal best sector times. One Wing's just had an incident, has he? Yeah, Philip Hodgson and One Wing potentially both looking like they have damage. Right front wing damage for One Wing. I think Philip Hodgson seems to have gotten away with it, but he's pitting for tyres anyway. He's got a 5-second penalty, actually, by the looks of things from that, according to the telemetry. So yeah, spending 5 seconds before he does the work on the car. So Kron stays out on the softs. Yeah, get to pit on those soft tyres, lap 9. Got more yellows, and that's the Haas again, unfortunately. So those soft tyres have probably gone through the roof on temperature. You could do with coming in and getting a new set of tyres on them. As Philip Hodgson's just done, put the hards on. One Wing's gone out there on a set of softs, so he's feeling racy. Kron goes into lap 10, so he's going as far as he can on the softs, clearly feeling there's no major issues just yet. One Wing changed his front wing, of course, in that pit stop. Yeah, that's all good. Spritzy set the fastest final sector on those hards, so he's back in the pack now. He's, I think, had to negotiate Craigo, just about getting through there without any contact. The two Red Bulls swapping places, and that's Spivey losing out to Danos, unfortunately, and Snellhink actually just in front of them in the McLaren. As positions start to shuffle a bit with the early stops now. Spritzy has had to actually give up a position there to Craigo, and now they're still racing side by side through turns 2 and 3. And at the moment, Craigo's hanging on 9-lap old hards compared to Spritzy's brand new hards. So we've got a yellow flag, let's go it. And spin it back around. And hopefully can get back underway without the need for any sort of safety car intervention. Craigo at the moment, though, he's costing Spritzy a lot of time. That's going to be helping Kron as he prepares for his first stop. The problem is, at the moment, those that are all on the mediums, that medium pack from sort of Snellhink to Spritzy, basically, is right where you're going to come back out into. So you're going to come into a lot of traffic if Kron were to pit now. Surely he must at some point very soon. He does indeed pull off into the pits, so yeah, he's going to come out in traffic, and Phil and Huss now have a nice clean track ahead of them. Snellhink actually has... Danos has hit Snellhink out there. Not sure if Danos has front wing damage, but we're hearing that Snellhink has diffuser and rear wing damage, so that's a disaster for him. That's going to be pretty tricky towards the latter stages of the race. Kron, where's he going to come out? I don't think he's going to come out ahead of Spritzy here, is he? So despite the traffic, Spritzy, he's going to have to get pretty punchy on the brakes, but might just have this one done. They're going to go side by side. Kron's actually put the mediums on, but he spins. Just manages to gather it back together. Craigo wow, congratulations to him for seeing that one coming in and avoiding it. No energy left to pull a move, unfortunately. Oh, and a little bit of contact through turn 4. One Wing's setting fastest times on that set of soft tyres, as you would expect. So yeah, Kron now. Wait a minute, we've got yellow flags. Who is that? That is Danos. So yeah, that little bit of contact with the back of Snellhenk that we've seen from the telemetry, but no obvious damage. Oh, we've got Snellhenk around. Maybe as a result of the rear damage we know he's carrying. But unfortunately for him, drops him behind the two guys that were at the front of the field, having now pitted. Spritzy and Kron move ahead of him. And again, Craigo, unfortunately, can't quite make it through the guy who's just spun. Remains in 14th place for now. We've got some yellows. That's Philip Hogston. He's been having a bit of trouble down at turn 4 this evening, unfortunately for him. Gets going again. We've got some more yellows. What's going on the start-finish straight? That's not... that's Uglar. Has Spritzy had an issue? Yeah, Spritzy's hit Uglar, apparently. Yeah, I'm not sure how the telemetry apportions blame, but the two of them have made contact, put it that way. We'll not put blame on any driver, we didn't see it. Craigo, though, moving ahead of Spritzy, so Kron and Spritzy have both struggled. Not necessarily because the soft was the wrong strategy from a pace point of view, we're not sure on that one yet. That's still to play out, but they've definitely struggled by coming out of their pit stops into traffic as Uglar pits for a new set of tyres and maybe some repairs. So yeah, Huss and Phil at the moment on the mediums, 12 laps in. They've obviously had a much cleaner track, able to go longer into the race, and by the time they pit, the midfield guys on mediums will be pitting as well. So they shouldn't really have that major trouble with traffic. But yeah, Kron and Spritzy have lost a lot of time, and I think, well, I'm not sure if either has any damage, but they definitely had a little bit of contact out there. Phil leads us into lap 13. Huss is just starting to pick up the pace a little bit with the use of DRS as well. He's used a lot of energy. Phil has just over 20% remaining. Huss next to nothing. Dragos as well, 3.5 seconds back. But so, Huss has spun, and oh, I thought he was going to spin it back round into the path of Dragos there. But unfortunately, he's spun it back round a little bit too much and cost himself a little bit more time. So it's all falling apart for Aston Martin at the moment, isn't it? As Richie picks up a 5-second pit speeding penalty, unfortunately for him. So yeah, this is one of those races. If you can keep it calm, keep it out of trouble, keep it out of the barriers or another car, and keep the penalties away, and this is definitely the race for you. No Huss from Backer in the chat. Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of a spin there for him. What have we got going on? Danos is on the back of Sinful. Richie's come out right behind one of the McLarens there of Goa, so as has been the case for most of the race, the two McLarens and the two Ferraris seem pretty glued together. Spritzy now 2 seconds off the back of Kron. That was your early race leaders, of course, and Kron's just about saved it. That's the second time we've seen him get massively sideways and somehow hang on. We'll just take a look at the actual damage tab. Yeah, it looks like it's mainly Snellhenk that has the damage. Simple and Goa still carrying a little bit of front wing, very minor front wing damage, but yeah, rear wing and diffuser damage for Snellhenk. Dragos and Dragos and Huss and Spivey all into the pits. And what are they going on to? Dragos onto the hards, Huss onto the hards. Yeah, pretty much all going to go onto the hards, aren't they, from that? Spivey onto the hards as well. Yeah, Spritzy and Kron now move up the order. Danos continues on. Dragos now comes out behind Cosmo. So they're together on track again. So we've got some yellows. That's GR down at turn 10. There's some more yellows as well. around the pit lane for some reason, so I'm not sure what happened there. Sinful and Snell, I think, come back out on track. Wonder if there was an issue with having to stack at the McLaren pits there. As yeah, most of that midfield is now pitted, look, so that's opened up a large amount of space for these guys to, as Dragos under pressure from Danos, barely a tenth in it, but yeah, Phil and well, Bumblebee's going to go a long way. Huss had that spin, so basically it's Phil now who's getting all the time in the world to go into the pits, and does so this time. He's going to put the hards on, and in theory should come out in acres of space, I imagine. Depends, can he get out ahead of Cosmo? That's going to be a close one. We've got a spinner that is goal once again down at turn 4, so turn 4 is proving a little bit tricky for some of the drivers out there this evening. Bumblebee takes over the lead of the race on those hard tyres, 14 laps completed on them. Cosmo pits, so yeah, Phil with a pretty comfortable lead over Kron, who is on mediums, and we've seen he's had a couple of tail happy moments on them, so yeah, he's got a bit of a job on getting them to the end with some performance. Spritzy already though has closed back in on him, so Spritzy looks to be in the better situation on those hard tyres compared to the mediums on the Haas. Dragos on his new hard tyres, who's right behind now as well, so we've got yeah, quite a fight going on for what is effectively P2 in this race at the moment, as the majority of drivers now have switched to the hard tyres. We've still got one wing out there on a set of softs. I'm not entirely sure the thinking behind that, but he's setting some, well, he was setting some decent lap times, but he's going to have to pit again before the end of the race, which will drop him out of contention, maybe gambling on a safety car, who knows. Big gap for Phil to Spritzy and Kron, yeah, that's one to watch. So at the moment, yeah, 4.2 seconds Phil has over Kron, who, as we've mentioned, may have some tyre issues towards the end of the race. At the moment, he's got Spritzy and Dragos for pretty serious company, and he's going to do well to keep them ahead, keep them behind. Spritzy has next to no energy. Dragos actually might be in a decent position here with DRS. He might be in a position to take both of them down to turn 1. As they come across the line this time, Bumblebee continues to lead into lap 16. No DNFs at the halfway point. Has to be some sort of record, Higgsy. Yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty unusual these days. As Richie, I think, maybe just had a little bit of a minor moment. Sinful changed his front wing, so that's got rid of one of the bits of damage that we saw earlier. Yeah, can't really go anywhere from this battle for well, 3rd, 4th and 5th as it stands. Barely a second covering the three of them, and at the moment it's actually changed to Spritzy being a little bit more under pressure. Now Higgsy said that we're going to get a DNF within the next 30 seconds. Yeah, Spritzy has actually dropped out the 1 second window briefly there, so all of a sudden under quite a bit of pressure, and Kron just having a little bit of breathing space, and he's actually closing the gap to Phil, although as we've mentioned, yeah, mediums and sliding around a little bit are an issue for the Haas driver. Question also turns to when is Bumblebee going to pit. He's doing a good job out there in the lead at the moment, and pits this time. So the race order is going to become the true race order, barring the fact that Craigo is also expected to pit sometime soon. It was, yeah, 65% on the rears for Bumblebee, so yeah, it was about time to get in, wasn't it? So Phil takes over the lead of the race then. Craigo stays out there. What is going on out the back of the circuit? Is that Uglar? It is. So the Alpines have been struggling with the rear end this evening. Bumblebee comes out of the pits. Where's he going to come out? Is he ahead of Huss? Just about. The Aston going deep around the outside. Can he hang it out through turn 2? Oh, a little bit of a wheel spin. He's got the move done. So Bumblebee just couldn't get the power down on cold tyres. As you can see, weaving to get some temperature in them, but he will be pretty quick now on those fresh mediums. And as he gets the back end out once again, one wing's back in the pits as well off those soft tyres. So the majority of the drivers out there now on hards. And there's only really Sprink and Crago who are expected to put the mediums on now towards the end of the race. One Wing's put the mediums on from that pit stop. So yeah, the majority of those hard tyres are planning to go to the end. Just 2 out there still to pit by the looks of things. 2.8 now the gap up the front. Spritzy just can't quite get himself back within that 1 second window for the DRS to help him in his defence against Dragos, and also help him get some electrical energy back. If he feels he could stick on the back of Dragos, it might be worth letting him go if he gets a good run, and charging up for the end of the race. Philip Hogston once again, unfortunately, round at turn 4. Sorry, back to it. Dragos is still right on the back of Spritzy, so I didn't miss anything there. More yellows. That is... I missed who that was. Only Richie carrying a penalty then at the moment, so they've done pretty well out there. We did have, I think, who was it? Snellhenk earlier picked up a penalty but served it in the pits. So yeah, Richie doesn't seem like he's going to pit again, so he'll be losing 5 seconds from wherever he finishes, unfortunately, for that speeding in the pit lane. Other than that, yeah, pretty much everyone doing a very good job on the penalty front so far. They'll probably all come streaming through towards the end of the race, as you can expect. What has happened? We've missed... no, we haven't. We've missed Dragos dropping back a little bit, that's all. As the Alpines, yeah, I think they're starting to struggle on tyres that have heated up during that spin more cycle, unfortunately. Probably easier at that point just to stick a set of tyres on it and go again for Philip Hogston. At the moment, things are all just about starting to settle in. We've got Bumblebee, Huss and Crago though at the moment for 5th, 6th and 7th, and all pretty much on different plans. Crago on the hard tyres is still yet to pit, as someone's... yeah, it's an Alpine at turn 4. Yellow flags. Yeah, Crago yet to pit on hards. Huss has pitted and is on hards. So we've lost Philip Hogston, unfortunately for him. He's been disqualified for going the wrong way, so maybe either stuck there or was waiting for drivers to pass. Either way, we've got our first... it's not really a DNF, it's a DSQ, and we have our first track limit penalty. We spoke too soon. One Wing picking up 3 seconds from P16 at the moment. But look at this, we've got it. Oh no! Well, we still have everyone in the session then, but unfortunately, contact there has robbed us of a 3-way fight. I think Crago got away with it, but Bumblebee has got minor front wing damage. Huss has got full front wing damage. Philip Hogston, before his disqualification, had quite severe rear wing damage, so that's probably what put paid to him. Colin, how did they survive that? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Huss, yeah, is very much without a front wing, so hopefully Cosmo's aware of that and doesn't come steaming into the back of him. You can see that, that's a crash and half. Yeah, that's a rival for last night's. Still think that turn 1 incident tops it. But yeah, Huss, he hit the wall pretty square on in the end, didn't he? So that's probably saved his suspension. Yeah. Into the pits he comes. He'll be praying for a late safety car now to get back on the tail of the pack. That does, though, mean that he's going to miss out on some significant points this evening. Spritzy, once again, looks set to pick up some solid points, and currently leading the championship by 19 after 2 rounds. He's going to do that no harm whatsoever if he can pick up a podium here, and who knows, might even pick up 2nd place yet, because Kron has done 9 laps now on those mediums and he's not exactly been taking it easy. So we'll keep an eye on any drop off there. At the moment, though, he's still hanging around 2 seconds on Phil, who you get the feeling is probably in a little bit of sort of conservation mode. He's he's had some incidents while it's been going well for him. He's never shy of an incident or two. Usually it'll be all going nice and smoothly, and then he'll just stick it in the wall out of nowhere, or get himself a penalty. Although that was tended to be more Lurch's thing. But yeah, at the moment, doing everything he needs to do. Lap 21 of 29. Bumblebee goes past Craigo as he finally pits off those hard tyres. 20 laps completed on them. 9 to complete now on... Is he going to try and put his head softs on? He is, so he's going to have some decent pace. As he comes out of the pits. And where is he going to come out of the pits? Behind his teammate. Behind Danos, by the looks of things. He might just slot in ahead of Sinful. So we've got some yellows. That's... Spivey and Cosmo come together. Both get back underway, and I don't think either have got any damage. Just said Phil's maybe in conservation mode. He's just set his fastest first sector time. So, yeah, there's always that. What have we got going on then? This all... Oh, and Craigo and Sinful. Just getting their elbows out a little bit. So there's yeah, a little bit of action to be played out in the midfield just yet. Danos, Richie, Cosmo. There's some points on offer, definitely. Bumblebee is, yeah, he's on those mediums. Decent pace, but at the moment he's probably going to struggle to make any significant impact on the top 4. Booty's just tuned in, saw Phil in the lead. What the hell happened? Actually, nothing. Yeah, he was on pole, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on pole. Dropped back as Spritzy and Kron ran the softs to begin with. Phil on the mediums. But yeah, nothing's happened in particular. Kron and Spritzy got caught in a little bit of traffic after making the early stops off those softs, and Phil came out in clear air. But other than that, it's been a straight race so far. We've had a very calm first half of the race, and then it all kicked off. We were mentioning we've got no penalties. We got a penalty. We mentioned we had no DNFs. We had the DNF, and then we had Huss, Craigo, and Bumblebee involved in an incredible incident on the run down to turn 9, and somehow all carried on. Huss now, as a result of pitting to repair damage from that, is setting the fastest lap of the race. We just noticed Cosmo's missing the right hand side of his front wing. So, yeah, 26% damage apparently on the front wing of Cosmo. So, Spivey, Richie and Danos, and no wonder they're all queuing up for some more points. Cosmo running wide there. Richie lining up on Spivey. Can he go all the way around the outside of turn 9? No, he can't. That would be a brave one, it has to be said. Oh, Danos, I think maybe just got in a little bit too hot just behind where we were looking there. And, yeah, just drops back a little bit, maintains his position there. But, what's happened there? Dragos and Spritzy, neither of them have any energy left. Maybe Spritzy could just do well here by sitting in the DRS and charging up for a run towards the end of the race. That's Goa once again down at turn 8 this time, having a little moment. So yeah, at the moment, Kron, no real major degradation by the looks of things on those mediums. Still running around 2 seconds off the back of Phil. Oh, Dragos is round. Spritzy avoiding action, and yeah, managing to get away with that one. Hopefully, no intra-team tactics here for Haas as they come up to lap the back markers. Haas fastest lap of the race once again, at 1:31.4. Phil will be, no doubt, a little bit nervous about a back marker ahead of him, even more so with it being a Haas, but I'm sure there'll be no funny business at all. But he does need to make sure he navigates this safely. Taking his time, but he can't afford to be too cautious, and yeah, credit to the Haas there of GR getting well out of the way. Kron also just about making his way through, I think. Yep, no problem there. When Phil watches this back, I'm just going to reference a Haas and that final corner. He'll know what I'm on about. Nothing more needs to be said. The video is available if anyone wants it. Spivey on the back of Cosmo, could be a little bit of a race. Bumblebee, as a result of that spin for Dragos, is now only 4.5 seconds off of P4. Yeah, tyre wear maybe is becoming a little bit of an issue for Bumblebee. Spritzy on the hards, despite having pitted. Where did he pit? No, yeah, he pitted a little bit earlier than Cron, didn't he? Yeah. So at the minute, Cron's tyre is actually looking in a bit better state than his rear tyres in particular, looking a bit better than Spritzy's. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but Backer saying Phil casually taking it home. At the moment, though, 1.5 seconds is all the gap is. Phil's tyres look in remarkably good shape, as you would expect, and 9 laps on the hards. They went obviously a long way on the mediums. Spritzy, what are we on? 24 or 29? Spritzy's not going to be in any trouble, but he might be struggling for a bit of performance come the end. This is all just, I don't know, completely uninformed. I'm just looking at percentages and taking a complete guess at things. Who have we got making any sort of moves? This is still going on. Spivey, Richie and Danos has plugged himself back onto the tail of that fight. Craigo as well on those softs. So it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari. And Cosmo's up the front of it as well. So 5-car battle for between 6th and 10th. At the moment, 3rd, 4th and 5th looking reasonably comfortable as much as they can. But, yeah, definitely these positions, absolutely not. And then what have we got? 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Yeah, all the way down to 18th. Pretty spread out. So this is where the action is, 6th to 10th in the closing 5 laps of this race. 25 now. Yeah, sorry, just had a moment there thinking where was Phil, but it's the other Haas I'm looking at on the track map. Anyone making a move? Spivey not quite close enough this time, although Cosmo has that front wing damage and is struggling for energy, so I think we're going to see a move pretty soon. Who is player 12? That's GR, yeah, so unfortunately not any telemetry from him. When's that? No, that's an old message. Sorry. Yeah, back to the on-track battles. We've got some messages coming in as well. Back, Richie recovered well from his early damage. I'm looking for that 5 seconds. Yeah, that's really going to hurt him, isn't it? With the midfield being as tight as this, it's probably going to drop to 10th place as it stands. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Dropping mad of what is an incredible battle at the moment. And Glassy up the spritz. Yeah, he's doing a decent job as it stands. Podium looking pretty likely, it has to be said, if you can keep it on the road. Anything more than that, I think, is maybe looking a bit of a stretch at the moment. I think Cron is doing a reasonable job. Phil maybe has just fought off the absolute most of that battle with Cron. 15 laps on mediums, they're just starting to have seen their best. Richie, though, lining up a move on Spivey. Craigo might be about to do the pair of them. It's a switch at Ferrari. Richie will know that he's got that penalty as well, of course. Huss has had a little bit of a spin in the final corner. Oh, Craigo! Oh, no! He's going to just about manage to get it back on the track, is he? A little bit of a spin afterwards as well. Gets back up and running, but that's put pay to any sort of decent result for him, unfortunately. Lap 26 of 29, not long to make up for that. And he rejoins in 12th place. So it's all down to Richie for the hopes of Ferrari. And as we've mentioned, carrying that penalty. Lovely helicopter shot here of the midfield battle. It's now Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. Sinful just getting himself within range of Richie with that penalty, isn't he? Got a bit of work to do yet. Yeah, front three look to just be spreading out slightly. Cron's tyres now 52% rear tyre wear. Yeah, they've seen their best. Absolutely. Why am I being tagged in something? No idea. It's not from any drivers or anything, so no worries there. Spivey is... I don't know what the issue is here, but he just can't seem to get a decent run at Cosmo. Either that, or he's quite happy to just sit here and wait for later on, so he can't be DRS back. But at the moment, he's got enough energy that if he was to get past with the DRS, he'd be able to probably pull away. Cosmo somehow is ridiculously quick in a straight line at the moment, it seems. 2.2 Spritzy to Cron. Yeah, it's probably not going to be enough time. It's just starting to come down, isn't it? DRS open once again for Spivey, but Richie lining him up. Danos is sort of sitting there waiting for it all to go wrong ahead of him, and hopefully avoid if that was the case, rather than go and join the accident. But either way, they're all keeping it on the track at the moment. At this stage, of course, you've got to have the championship in the back of your mind slightly. It's not quite gloves off just yet. Round 3, anything can happen, and you never know when you need to pick up these sort of midfield or minor points later on. Craigo had a little bit of front wing damage in that incident by the looks of it, so I wonder if we got into the back of someone, which caused that spin. Doesn't look like anyone else is carrying any damage, any rear damage or anything, so yeah, not sure what happened with Craigo, unfortunately, but yeah, down in 11th place at the moment. He's got back up ahead of Snellhead for that position. So how is this now four-way battle going to be resolved? Can Red Bull get themselves up ahead of both of the Italian teams? Once again, Richie looks the strongest in a straight line. None of them have got any edge left, apart from Spivey, which makes me wonder why he's not using it to get ahead of these and pull clear of what is always a risk running in a group. As Cosmo gets well out of shape, unfortunately for Spivey, that meant he had to get out of the throttle as well. And yeah, again, it's just as you were. No moves once again. As Craigo and Snelling go side by side into turn 3, and one wing and Huss. Ooh, that's going to get pretty tight on the exit. Huss just about taking the position. And yeah, 8-lap old softs clearly got a bit of life in them just yet. Let's go back to this four-way battle for P6 then, because it's not over yet, even though it seems to have sort of flattered to deceive at the moment. We're not quite getting the action from it, even though they're all very close on track. Yeah, pretty much any of them, if they were to save their energy, it would be pretty easy for them. If one of them saved it, they'd probably overtake all three. Phil's onto his final lap. Cron is now almost 3 seconds behind, so that fight has ended, it seems. Spritzy in P3 looks to have covered off any threat from behind for the podium. So your top 3 looking fairly comfortable, as much as you could be in the closing stages. They've got some back markers up ahead that I think Phil will want to just hang back and, if he can, not get involved with. What's going on with the 4-car battle? They follow each other. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there from the back of Spivey on Cosmo. And I think maybe might have let Cosmo back through there. Does that leave him vulnerable to Richie? It does a little bit, but Richie, with that penalty, not willing to put it all on the line, but maybe gets through on the exit. And into the S's of 5 and 6. Should manage to get that one done from there. Good move from Richie. Sort of a little bit of a switchback, but where are we now then? Down into the final corner for Phil. Pole and win. Not bad at all. I'm sure he'll take that. He'll be in a good mood later. And across the line, yep. Takes his first win of the season. Picks up some significant points as well. Cron crashes over the line. And Spritzy will take the podium. Dragos in P4, Bumblebee will take a very solid P5. And then to the battle, it's going to be at the moment, Red Bull are dipping out, aren't they? They're 8th and 9th as it stands. They will get a position back from Richie. Can Richie take it on track? It's going to be a race to the final corner. They're all out of energy this time. Spivey, I think, maybe has some damage. He's dropped back. Cosmo and Richie are going to race for the line. Danos as well, but I think it's going to stay as it was. Oof, just about. Cosmo from Richie, who drops back. Danos, Spivey. Sinful did get ahead, so Richie drops to 10th, just ahead of Craigo, who just hangs on from Snellhenk in P12. Huss, P13. One wing 14th. And then we wait a while for Uglar and Sprink, who are actually having a pretty decent battle on this final lap. So it's soft against hards. Sprink might get this one done. Again, using all their energy. Nothing left for either of them. Uglar's not going to give it up. It's now a drag race to the line. Who had the DRS? Sprink did, and he's going to take the position then. Glassy, top effort seen 18 drivers finish the race. Yeah, very good indeed. And I think the only DNF was actually, it was a disqualification for Philip Hogston. Had some rear wing damage, and I think was maybe waiting for the pack to come through. So yeah, even that, not really a DNF. So yeah, good stuff, absolutely. What have we got as the drivers come out onto the podium? Backer, surprised nobody managed to save ERS all that laps. Yeah, I'm surprised myself as well. Being in the DRS, if you just hung back a bit on the energy, you could probably have fired your way up, as we mentioned, past all of that little group. Some congrats to Phil and the rest of the podium. Yeah, more congrats to the podium as well. I think that's Phil's first victory in RPM, isn't it? Spritzy apologising to Uglar, so I'm not sure what happened there. I think that must have been fairly early on. Confirmation of your order then. It's Phil McConaughey right at the top. Pole and win. And yeah, very, very comfortable result for him. Cron started on the softs and went to mediums. Maybe not quite the ideal strategy this evening. Put him in traffic. Spritzy likewise, but went to the hards for the end. Dragos, Bumblebee, Cosmo, Danos, Spivey, Sinful, and Richie complete your top 10. As we've mentioned, Richie, unfortunate with that pit speeding penalty. It was a good recovery from an early spin. Craigo, Snellhenk, Huss, One Wing, Sprink, Uglar, Goa, and GR are your finishers. Philip Hogston, unfortunately, disqualified, trying to get back on the track earlier on, around just over half distance, I think. But yeah, that is round 3 at Bahrain complete. And we will have First Division and Championship Division racing tomorrow, which I believe both are being covered on the RPM YouTube channel, of course. And then Premier, I'll be back in the car in the AlphaTauri, so hopefully replicate that result. Yeah, all right. On Thursday, and I think we'll maybe have Spritzy in the comms booth for that one, I believe. Yeah. According to that, anyway. So yeah, that's this week, and as we mentioned, yeah, Japan for what I believe is a sprint race next week. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hope you all enjoyed it, and have a good rest of the evening. And we'll see you next week.